Last year, my mom collapsed at her workplace. Her condition stabilized, but she had to stay for hospitalization. Yet, my brother's visits were few and far between. He stayed for just a few minutes and would leave the room as if fleeing. Scared of seeing your face, Mom joked. I thought, of course, I'm glaring at him. I was the ruffian with scraped knees, and he was the smart, fair-skinned one with excellent grades. Despite our 3-year age difference and opposite personalities, we used to get along well. After our dad left us for another woman, Mom worked from morning till night to raise us by herself. Mom's gonna be late again today, my brother would say, always cooking our meals. Our relationship changed about 10 years ago. It started when my brother got married. We're expecting a baby. He introduced his beautiful wife. But her personality was ugly. Single moms are like worker bees, always busy working or they'll die. What did you say? Don't mock our mom. Whoa, is this what they call a mama's boy? Typical of son from single-parent family. That was our first meeting. My brother's choice in spouse was clearly flawed. Did he marry her just because they had a kid? After they left, I asked Mom about her, but she only said, kids need their parents. Divorce wasn't an option since they had a child. Mom had probably settled on that conclusion. But that wife was clearly a mistake, I thought. My intuition was right. My sister-in-law always ridiculed single-parent families, boasting about her happily married family. She might have raised Tom well, but you're the unfortunate result of a single parent, quick-tempered and rude. Hey Tom, you hated being from a single-parent family too, right? You told me before. Yeah, I guess so. Hearing that conversation drained the blood from my face. I remembered my brother always staying silent whenever his wife insulted Mom. No way, Tom, you're defending her. I'm not defending her, it's true. I used to be ashamed of being from a single-parent family. I grabbed his collar in anger, but Mom intervened with "Stop it, Ken," which I ignored. Ashamed? What are you talking about? Exactly that. I hated walking beside Mom in her worn-out shirts. Tom, that's it. Stop, both of you. Mom stopped again. I lowered my raised fist. The sister-in-law's laughter echoed emptily. This is fun, Ken. Don't try to recruit Tom into your mama's boy club. Being from a single parent is such a nuisance. That day, I gave up on my brother. Get along with your brother. You're the only 2 siblings. Mom would say whenever she saw me. Even though she was so ridiculed, Mom still cared about him, which I found bitter. One day, I received a call from the hospital that Mom was in a critical condition. I took leave and contacted my brother. That's troublesome. I'm going on a trip to Hawaii next week. I couldn't believe what I heard over the phone. What? A trip? I mean, there'll be a wake and a funeral to prepare for. It coincides with the travel dates. Are you serious? To my groan-like voice, my brother fell silent for a while. Looks like I can't cancel the trip. Mom might be dying. And he's choosing a vacation over that. Something inside me snapped. Fine then, go enjoy your trip. And don't worry, even if something happens, you won't be invited to the funeral. I yelled and hung up the phone. Fuming, I contacted the relatives. While at it, I spitefully told them to ignore my brother, as he was apparently going on a trip. When I returned home from visiting Mom, I saw a missed call from my brother on my phone. Probably got some snide remarks from the relatives and wanted to complain. Not in the mood to listen to him, I decided to vent. Hey, Tom, you know, you were ashamed of Mom wearing rags. If it weren't for your hospital bills, we could have lived better. Hospital, me. There's a photo in the album. You, lying in a bed I've never seen before. I asked Mom about it, and she said you suddenly collapsed at about 6 years old. Rushed to the hospital with a rare disease. My brother sounded like he was retracing his memory in disbelief. You had a rare disease, needed to be in a university hospital. Mom bowed her head to every relative, and still, the money wasn't enough. She worked herself nearly to breaking. I was taken care of by relatives back then and knew about this from them. Even when she was told to dress better, she said if there was spare money, she'd rather use it for us. Sounds just like Mom. It seemed like my brother had forgotten all about the hospitalization and the illness. Mom had told me not to talk about it, saying, "It's better not to have painful memories," but I didn't care about my brother now. So, in a subdued voice, "Do you still have that photo?" His question took me by surprise. The photo was in Mom's room, so I sent him a picture of it. Little did I know what would happen the next day. On my way to the hospital the next morning, my phone vibrated. Answering without looking, I heard, "Hey, what did you tell Tom?" It was my sister-in-law. She was in panic and irritated, differing from her usual smug tone. Canceling the trip at the last minute, seriously. I was shocked too. Piecing together her rant, it seemed Tom decided not to go on the trip that morning. Who's gonna drive the rental car now? Guess that's a cancellation then. This situation escalated into her one-sided yelling, but Tom had already left somewhere. "You must have said something, you mama's boy." "Ah, yes, the mama's boy has an important visit to her hospital, so I'll be handing up this pointless call." I retorted politely and turned off the phone. What awaited me in the hospital room was more shocking than the call from my sister-in-law. "Tom, what are you doing?" Sobbing and sniffling, my brother was prostrating on the cold floor of the hospital room. Good thing it was a private room. After a while, he calmed down and started explaining. It seems the photo I sent jogged his memory. Realizing my story wasn't a lie, he remembered how horribly he treated Mom. And he came to apologize. You think apologizing now clears everything? That's wishful thinking. But it's my right to make amends. As we talked, the door slammed open, and my sister-in-law burst in, face twisted in anger. "What the hell? Why is Tom sitting on the floor? He's apologizing to Mom." "What? Just because he's a mama's boy, you make him to do something so embarrassing, unforgivable?" She lunged at me, but my brother stopped her. "Embarrassing? I'm doing this willingly. I forgot all Mom did for us and hurt her a lot. Apologizing is the least I can do." "What? But you were just saying how shameful single-parent families are. Are you crazy?" I was about to yell back, but my brother stood up, catching my attention. "I have things to discuss. Let's go home." He told her, and they left the room. I got a call from my brother later that afternoon. "We're getting a divorce," he said. Everything was happening too fast. A lot happened, but it's settled now. Hearing my brother speak so nonchalantly, I reminisced about how smart he has always been. He said we'd discuss the details in person, and since I hadn't had lunch yet, I suggested a nearby cafe. While eating the food, my brother elaborated on the details. The last straw for the divorce was apparently her behavior in the hospital room. That figures. Dismissing a heartfelt apology as creepy is beyond forgiveness. I was nodding along when he said, "And then there's the neglect of our son." I almost choked. Nick, his 10-year-old son. He is a quiet, intelligent kid, a mini version of my brother. When asked who he wanted to live with after the divorce, he immediately chose my brother, saying, "Mom doesn't want to take care of me." My sister-in-law would just give Nick some cash and order him to prepare his own meals. My brother is a department head at a major company. He is often busy and away on business trips. He regretted not noticing that as a parent, but Nick's smart. She was saying that she wanted him to have a tutor since elementary. The tutoring fees and living expenses I gave her vanished into luxury products. She even threatened Nick not to tell, or she'd get angry. A little digging revealed she had debts from consumer loans. The money for living and tutoring wasn't enough, it seems. When confronted, my sister-in-law justified her treatment of Nick with, You should be grateful I was even a mother to him. He didn't have to be called a child of a single parent. That's messed up." My casual remark made my brother crack a small smile. He pulled out his vibrating phone and said, "Speak of the devil, it's that messed up person calling." He put it on speaker and pressed the call button. Tom, moving guys suddenly showed up, taking stuff away. "And where's Nick?" My sister-in-law screamed. "That house is being sold. I arranged it with a friend. It's in my name, bought before we married, so I can do as I please. Nick's at your parents' place now." "What? Better secure your belongings fast. The movers have instructions to dispose of anything not specified by me." "Why didn't you send them to my parents' place?" "Your parents decided to cut ties with you. After hearing about how you treated Nick, they promised to see him instead of having anything to do with you." "What are you saying?" "Just so you know, all the documents are with my lawyer. If you dodge the child support and the money you misused, it'll be bad for you." Wait, I'll apologize. Let's start over. I'll even apologize to Nick. It's sad being a child of a single parent. Nick said he doesn't care about being a child of a single parent. He's more embarrassed to have you as a mother. What? I'll make amends too. You should do the same. After hanging up, he sighed and said, "That's pretty much the situation," and smiled faintly. Too well prepared, almost scary. Later, their divorce went through. I don't know the specifics of what happened to my sister-in-law afterward. A housewife who misused living and education funds, suddenly without a home or money, can only imagine her fate. She also has to repay my brother and her consumer debts, so she'll probably have to work from dawn to dusk. I wonder if she ever wanted to celebrate the divorce. Miraculously, Mom recovered. She told me about the time in school when my brother was bullied for having a single parent. Seeing Mom in worn-out clothes and being mocked by classmates must have hurt him. Mom regretted not paying more attention to her appearance. But for me, a self-proclaimed mama's boy, it's not easy to forgive my brother. Yet, he apologized again in front of Mom, crying. The relatives know about his past behavior, so he'll face their stern looks. He has to mend the relationship with his son as a father. Regaining lost trust requires extraordinary effort. I'm happy enough as long as you two get along. Mom laughs, and I think I should help my brother out once in a while.